In this class, we are going to see about packages, Java comments in Java. Let's start with the packages. What is package? So package is nothing but it is a collection of classes and interfaces. So generally we know package is nothing but bundling something and putting it all together in a one single bundle. So here in Java, all the classes and interfaces, sometimes sub packages, are placed in a one folder that is called as package. So it's a collection of classes and interfaces. It acts as a folder where classes and interfaces and sub packages are available. Packages in Java is a mechanism which encapsulates classes, interfaces, and sub packages. In Java, there are already many predefined packages are available. For example, java.lang, java.io, java.util, and many are available. Java.lang is a default package used in simple Java program, which provides all the methods, string classes, object classes, data types, everything in a simple Java program. Java.io is used to handle stream of input and output byte stream, or to have the input and output operation. And util package is used to utilities. Say for example, calendar class, date class, time class is available, providing various methods in calendar, time, and date. So that is available inside a util package. Util is a sub package under the Java main package. Uh, what are all the advantages or merits of having packages? So as I said already, we can categorize the classes and interfaces and putting in a single folder. So similar classes, similar kind of functions or classes can be placed in a one sub package and so on. So we can categorization of classes and interface is going to be an advantage. In another way, Java package provides access protection. Since we are categorizing the classes and the interfaces and putting in one folder, so altogether it's going to be kind of bundle or providing access protection. And Java package removes naming collision. So naming collision is an important problem in while developing applications and the packages. If you are having same class or method in two places, say for example, ABS is one method for finding the absentees in your application. ABS is the another method available in math class for finding the absolute value. In that case, to avoid the naming collision, if you use package, so that you can access the classes with the package extension, so you can avoid the naming collision. That is what naming collision. And package provides reusability of the code, so that you write a code once and place it in one package, and it can be reused any number of times if the user wants. So for example, math, you can take a math class inside a util package. All the not util package, sorry, date class in util package. So date class provides many methods, useful methods are defined in a date class. So that can be readily available for the users. They can use various methods of different formats of date in a util function. So it was written once and stored in a util class. So that provides the code reusability. And finally, we can create our own package, or else in some cases you can extend the existing package. These are all the advantages or merits of packages. Now we'll see the package hierarchy. As this is actually user defined package. So Java is the main package. Inside the Java we are having number of sub packages. So the only three packages are given, three sub packages are given. One is Java Lang, that is Lang, util, and AWS. So these are all the sub packages under the main package Java. So Lang provides the basic functionalities, string classes and data types, and the basic methods for writing a simple Java program. So it was automatically imported in your program. If you are writing a simple Java program, this java.lang.asterisk will be the first line in your program, which was automatically imported. So coming to util package, as I said already, it gives various utility classes. Say for example, date class, time class, calendar class available inside util package provides various useful methods in respective classes. So coming to the last one, AWT is the abstract window toolkit, AWT. So which is used for developing the GUI based applications for inserting buttons, checkboxes, drop down menus. All those things can be possible with the AWT, that is abstract window toolkit. So this is a simple hierarchy of Java main package and sub packages like lang, util, AWT, etc., and the respective classes in the each sub package. Now we'll see types of package. So we are having two types of package. One is user defined and built-in. User defined, if you are your developer or user, you can develop your own package, so that you can add classes and interfaces inside your package. So if coming to built-in package, it was predefined. As I say, as we seen in the previous slide, right? So the lang, util, AWT are the predefined packages. That is what the types of package. And now we'll see the types of built-in package. So already we have seen java.awt, java.util, java.lang. So remaining under java.io, java.net, applet, and SQL. Java.io is used for handling the Java.io is used for input-output operations, as we said already. Java.net is used for networking related applications, say for example writing, creating sockets and sending the messages by using HTTP protocol and so on. AWT, as I said already, it was abstract window toolkit for buttons, controls, GUI operations can be developed. GUI components can be developed the use of AWT. Applet is a small program runs in the client side, used for some kind of animation and kind of thing. So that is applet. Util is a utility classes available like date, time, calendar, etc. Lang is used for that is basic need of a simple Java program, that is string classes, exception, thread. That is what defined in java.lang. And finally SQL, java.sql, we know that structured query language for database operations like connection establishment with database, providing driver details, and doing the data definition, data manipulation, and giving the queries for manipulating the database. So these are all the examples of built-in packages. So coming to the user-defined packages, you can, if you are a user or you are a developer, you can write your own package. That is what called as user-defined package. So for creating user-defined package, this is the syntax: package space your package name and semicolon. Semicolon is missed over here. So package space package name. So all the statements after this line is going to be stored in this package. So to use the package in any of your program, this is the syntax: import the package name. Import the package name. I'll see the example, we'll understand easily. So before that, we'll see how to define a package. So as I said already, to define a package space your package name. That must be your syntax for creating a package. So this is going to be your package name. On this name, a folder will be created, and inside that folder, all your classes and interfaces must be placed. So there is a command is available for making the package. So Java C, so like normal compilation, Java C -d directory, in which directory you wanted to place your package, that directory, and your file name .java. What happens here is, so this Java file will be compiled in this given directory location, or in this directory the class file will be placed. Otherwise you can use dot also. So dot means in the instead of the directory you can use Java C -d dot your file name .java, which is creating your class file in the current working directory, and folder will be created. Inside that folder your class file will be placed. So for execution, you will be in some cases if you are trying to execute your package program, that is like this. So normal execution, what we are doing is java space your file name dot java. So instead java space file name without extension. So here instead of that we are inserting the package name in between, that is java space your package name dot the class name or java file name without extension. That is, your package name is nothing but your folder name dot your java file name without extension. So that is what to run your package file. Generally we won't run package file because in most of the cases package file doesn't have the public static void main, so that we are compiling and keep the class inside the particular folder, and later by use in any of other program or other package we may import that package and we can use it. So we'll see an example, we'll understand easily. So have this example. So this is my package name, package space p1. So what happens here is all the code after this line will be belongs to this package p1, right? So in a D drive I'm creating a folder called p1. Inside the folder I'm saving this file. In which name I have to save? In which class is having a public, in that class name only I have to save. So sairam.java saved inside the p1 folder, and thereafter I'm navigating to the p1 folder, I'm compiling it, will get the class file. This is one of the easiest method. Or else you can have the anywhere you will be compiling javac your directory and folder name and the file name .java. So that is also you can create. So as of now, for ease of implementation, you put a folder inside the D drive, and after that place your Java file, that is package file, inside the p1 folder, and go to this respective directory in command prompt and do the compilation. You will get the class file. So you cannot run the class file because this class is having only one method, which is a normal method. This is not public static void main. So this is not having main method, since you are not able to execute this program. Rather you can import the class, import the package p1. You can import the class sairam, and then you can use the function fact. So this is the mouse, yeah, and this fact function can be imported in some other program. So as of now what you are doing is put a folder and save this file in file name sairam.java and compile it. You got the class file. As of now package is created, class file was created and placed inside the respective directory. So now see this example. So you can see the window Explorer over here. So under the D drive I'm having one folder p1. Inside the p1 only I'm having the package. So in the D drive I'm creating this main program. In that first line is import p1 dot asterisk. So this is the first statement in my program. It says that I'm importing all the classes and interfaces inside the p1 package. So package name dot asterisk means all the classes and interfaces inside the package p1. So what are all the classes available in p1? Only one class, sairam class, and all the methods, public methods available in sairam classes readily available in this program. So in this program I'm having public static void main. This is main class, and here sairam object, so sairam class from the package p1. You can see I'm creating object for sairam class. This sairam class belongs to p1 package, right? So and I'm calling the factorial function, which is defined inside the sairam class, which is it resides inside p1 package. So this factorial was already pre-written and available inside p1 folder or package p1. So I'm importing the package and creating object for the package, instantiating the object, and then I'm calling the method by using the object obj.fact. So which in turn and then you save this file as pack demo, that is the public class inside my D drive, wherever you want to have. Inside the D drive I'm saving the file pack demo.class. After that go to the respective directory D drive, compile the packdemo.java and run the packdemo.java. So come over here, so navigate to the D drive. So I'm compiling packdemo.java and then I'm executing, running the packdemo class file. So I'm passing 5 as an input for the factorial, which is defined inside SciRAM class. SciRAM class is inside the P1 package. So which is returning 120 as the factorial output. So this is how, what I did is I have created a folder called P1, that is my package. Inside that folder I'm having this Java file. This Java file is having a first line package P1, which means this class belongs to this package, and compile it and have the class file. So come out of this directory, and in a D drive where I'm having P1 folder, in a D drive I'm creating one main function to test the package program or to use the packages inside my program. So import P1 is a statement, import P1.asterisk is a statement which is importing all the class and methods interfaces inside the P1 folder, right? So here I'm creating an object for the class which is there inside P1 folder and call the respective method, and it is returning the output like this. So this is how, so like this any number of classes can be added, any number of classes can be added to my package P1, and you can compile it and have the class file, and later anywhere in any program you can use this statement import P1, and that class or all the classes can be imported. So this is how package can be created and saved in a respective folder, and you can use the package in your program. This is a simple example. Now there are some number of methods to access a package. The first method is import package dot asterisk. So in this, by using the method 1 only, we have seen the previous example, that is using this method only, that is import package dot asterisk, which means all the classes and methods interfaces inside the package is imported in my program. This is first method example which been seen, right? Import p1 dot asterisk semicolon should come over here. And second method is you can import package name dot class name. I told you, right, in a package P1 I may have n number of classes. Assuming that I will be having more number of classes, if I want to use a specific class I can go for this method. So in a method 2, so package import package name dot the class name semicolon comes over here. So this inside this SciRAM class, what all the methods are available, that is imported in my program. That is one method. And in a third method, we are calling the package by fully qualified name. So here the import statement is not necessary. Instead, what I am doing is, what you can do is, you can use the fully qualified name, that is java.util. Whatever the class, java.sql. Whatever the class. For example, date class is available in both the packages. Date class is available in the util package as well as the SQL package. So to avoid the confusion, you can use the fully qualified name, that is java.util.date one class, and again java.sql.date. So instead of import in java.util.asterisk, you can use the fully qualified name. That is what the fully qualified name. So these are all the three methods for importing accessing a package from another package. And this is the sequence of the package, package, then import statement, and you are having your classes. So in some cases, if you wanted to have multiple classes in one single package, you cannot put all the classes inside one file, because in a Java there is a restriction, only one class declared as public. If you are having multiple classes declared as a public, it is not allowed in Java. So what you have to do is, if you want to have a number of classes, you put a separate file. For example, public class A, you save this as a.java. If you wanted to add another class, class B, public class B, you put it in a separate file and save it as a b.java. Like this, if you are having multiple public classes, you have to put a individual separate file for each public class, because multiple public classes is not allowed in a single Java file. So for that, we will be having a separate file for public classes, which means in a one Java file, only one class must be public. That is what the thing. Which means if you are having if you are putting number of classes, each class must be stored in a separate file name if you are making your classes public. If you're making public only, it is accessible outside the package or outside the class and outside the what do you call another package. And class path is where you wanted to store your class file. So in the folder I told you, right, in a P1 folder I placed my Java file and class file in the same directory. In some cases, for developing application and all, what they are doing is they are developing the class files, Java files, and putting the class files in separate location. For that you can give the class file, a class path. And now Java doc comments. So in the previous, I think fourth or third classes, we discussed about Java doc. Java doc is a method, it's a tool available inside JDK for creating documentation of your Java file. That is, HTML documentation can be created and published by using the Java doc. So inside Java doc we may insert comments also. So comments means in Java we had a single line and multiple line command. Single line can be with the double backslash, multi-line command can be with the backslash with the asterisk symbol. So using that we are going to use inside Java doc comments for adding some more information about the program. So this is the multi-line comment is this one, so having extra asterisk, so slash asterisk, extra asterisk. So in Java doc comment is having this kind of asterisk for inserting the multi-line comment inside the Java doc, right? So we'll see next structure of Java doc command. So as I said already, it is having multi-line command by having this kind of structure, and it is having one extra asterisk after the slash, that is slash double asterisk, and ended with asterisk with the backslash. So that that is going to be multiple line command. The first paragraph is a description of method documenter. So what are all the descriptive tags we can use Java doc commands are @param, @return, @throws, @c. So the @param is nothing but parameters used inside your method. For example, in your class having number of methods, in each method what all the parameters can be referred with the @param symbol. @return is nothing giving about what the method returns, and the @throw is nothing but if any exception is there, that information can be placed in @throws. @c is nothing but you can see also tag, which means you can have additional information about the current page, or giving the link to the URL link to the current page, current data to the some other location, or giving additional information. That's what called as @c tag. We'll see the example, we'll understand easily. So comment is already we do with the double slash single line and putting slash with asterisk multi-line command. So this is what the tag. @author is name of the author, @version is version of this current program, @since date of the program which it was created. We'll see an example, we'll understand. So these are all the tag and parameter: @author, version, since, C reference, C also, @param, @return. And have this example, multi-line comment with the double asterisk for notifying the Java doc command. Author name ABCI, version is 1.0, since 31/3/2020. So this is going to be additional information about the program, and this is what hello _ Java doc example. So by using Java doc tool, if you create the Java doc command, so it will be like this. So HTML document will be created, and it is having this, so this is the command which is given in a single multi-line command, and date it was created, and the class name and the constructor and so on. So Java dot file name dot Java, which is going to create this kind of HTML. Similarly, another example is, so inside the multiple line comments, you can insert the HTML tag also. So this is going to be HTML tag. The hello world alone will is going to be displayed in a bolder way, and this paragraph is going to be giving proper comments to your program, makes it more. This line will be placed as a paragraph, and remaining author, version, since will be same as it is. We'll see the output of this one. So if you do the Java doc tool for the previous program, it will be like this, right? So the hello world alone placed in a bolder way, remaining as paragraph, since date, and the constructor of the program. The program class name is hello world, so that constructor will be in the same name. So this is how Java doc is comment is used inside Java doc. for creating HTML document of the Java program. So with that we are concluding the Java doc comments. Thank you.